Barrow has failed. Not only the reforms he promised, nothing has been implemented. The economic programs are all stuck where they were when he came to power. The only thing that seems to advancing a bit is road construction. And that road construction is progressing because it's a sector where we have a lot of misappropriation of resources. Because the amount of money you're saying you're putting in that is nowhere near the truth. So road construction is a way of enriching some people. And when the time comes and the audits are conducted for those road construction projects, the reality of the whole situation will come out for the whole Gambia to see. When you tell us you put $150 million to construct a 22-kilometer road, and you added another $54 million on top of that, $150 million for a 22-kilometer road is already $6.8 million per kilometer of road instead of $1 million. And you try to spin it that, yeah, this is the cost, etc. You add $54 million to that, that becomes $9.27 million per kilometer of highway. That's a world record. And you tell us, oh, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about because road construction is expensive. Road construction is expensive, yes. But there are limits. When you do it properly and scientifically, that's what it costs, $1 million roughly per kilometer of highway. But of course, if you bring in wrong people and wrong management, what is supposed to be for $1 million, they will tell you is $7 million, $6.8 million. The road construction companies want to make a huge profit and maybe share the profits with other people. If you let them, that's what's going to happen. But it's us, the Gambian people, we are the ones who are going to pay back those loans. When a large amount of that money would have been siphoned off, not put into road construction. Adama Barrow, if your Minister of Infrastructure wanted to put $204 million in a highway, we could have had a dual carriage, 4-lane, 2 on either side, from Sting Corner all the way to Bansang at least, or maybe even Basse. Not just 22 kilometers. That is massive misappropriation of resources. But we know how these things happen. We know it. And there will be forensic audits later on. So this is where we are. We are in an area here where the only area where we see some developments is in that sector at an extremely high cost. Everything is overpriced. It all smacks of corruption and misappropriation, and you know it. Why can't you rein in your minister? We see everything going wrong. From the Senegambia bridge that you mortgaged for $100 million, and you don't even see that money coming. The first $15 million that came went into recurrent expenditure. The remainder, we don't know when it's coming, if it has come or not. And you promised to put that in infrastructure development. It's not done. You are concessioning out our airport after spending $41 million to renovate it. You still don't have proper electricity or air conditioning or toilet facilities in that airport, or even sitting areas. You don't have any sitting areas there. So $41 million renovation, and now you're telling us it's not working, we're going to concession. Where did the $41 million go? Our port, which we built from our sweat, our tax dollars, you give it out to Alberia to manage. That is no more than a management contract that you give them. A management contract where they take 80% and we take 20%. And of course, the revenue distribution, which Larry mentioned very well, the 96.4%, it's a disgrace. Now you're concessioning the concession of the Sanyang port. And what do we see? You try to take over the lands of the Sanyang residents to do things which you cannot just talk about on TV. Because you're talking of real estate development like you did for Banjul. You bought most of Half Dye for port expansion. When you knew fully well that you don't need all that land. Today you're talking of building houses in Half Dye. When was the Minister of Road Construction, Infrastructure Development and Construction? When did you become a housing estate development ministry? When? And you plan to do the same thing for Sanyang. This government is totally, totally out of touch with the Gambian realities, and the corruption is killing this country. The same thing, Gamtel, Gamcell, you're preparing to sell them off. Why are you selling off or mortgaging or concessioning all our national assets, which we have built to pay dividends for this country, and that those dividends are supposed to be used to develop the country? Why are you doing that? These are the areas you should concentrate on, not the tribal politics. But sometimes, you say, why do we continue saying this? We have to continue, though, because the Gambian people have to see what you are up to, what you're doing to this country, the hurt and the harm you're bringing to this country. So it is time to get rid of you. And because you cannot defend anything, you go out on a limb and say all that you say, hoping that the Gambian people will buy it. No, the Gambian people are too smart for that. We will not accept that from you. We will denounce it. And you will be voted out in 2026. You still have time to salvage your legacy. You still have time to leave something behind. And live as a senior statesman, respected statesman. Not somebody who's going to be running away from the law. Not somebody who's going to be in exile. Like Jammeh today in Equatorial Guinea and other presidents in Africa, including Macky Sall in Morocco. Is that the kind of life you want for yourself and your family? That humiliation, that disgrace? That's not what we want for our heads of state. We want our heads of state, when they live as respectable people and be treated with honor and dignity. That's what we want for you. Not living as a pariah. But that's up to you, whether that's what you want for yourself or not. The ball is in your court. But because you cannot pull those off, that's why you're doing all the wrong things. Today you're distributing ID cards outside the country to people who most probably are non-Gambians. We have our information coming to us from all these places you go. The ID cards are going to who? To a few Gambians in those places, because there are extremely few Gambians in those places. But essentially to who? To Bissau Guineans, Guineans from Guinea-Conakry, Guineans from, people from Mali, etc., who are resident in those countries. You are giving our national ID cards to people who do not deserve that ID card. And we're going to take you to court for that. Because this illegality has to stop. And we hope that the courts will listen to us properly this time and do the right thing and stop the illegality in the country.